Welcome to Subramani. Today I'm going to talk to you about a concept which is not very well known in India. In fact, this concept is not even spoken about in India. It's something called long-term care and long-term care insurance. India does not have long-term care insurance, and if believe me, when I talk to people, the biggest fear that people have, and undoubtedly the biggest fear that people have of living long, is younger people dying before them. That's very scary, especially people with one kid. How do you handle this? I mean, if you're 60 years old and your 30-year-old child dies of an accident, it is different. But when you're 95 years old and your 70-year-old son dies, I mean, he's dying of old age. After that, what happens to you? Who is going to look after you? This is, if you ask me, the biggest fear. The second big fear is running out of money for your medical expenses. That is again scary, because India does not have too much of protection in terms of Medicare or stuff like that. Yes, you have to pay your own insurance, and I think the insurance will not cover many expenses like keeping a full-time nurse, keeping a person to feed, and all that. I mean, a full-time nurse, the medical bed that you need, all the diaper and those costs. None of this is even covered by insurance, even if you have an extremely well-worded insurance policy. There is nothing called a well-worded insurance policy, because we just don't have long-term care insurance. So you get insurance cover when you are admitted to hospital, you have a heart attack, you have a liver problem, kidney problem, all those things, you will get insurance coverage. But long-term care, being at home, somebody is looking after you, that does not get covered. Unfortunately, in India, we do not have enough data, and we do not have enough study on how people handle all this. So you will have to go by what is happening in America or UK, wherever they are willing to spend time and money on doing such research, and you can safely assume it will only be a little worse in India, right? So these kind of problems. So the US research shows that more than 70% of the people above the age of 65 will need long-term care. They will need long-term care. Now, this long-term care has financial implications and physical implications. Will your children be able to provide long-term care? The answer is no. It is extremely demanding, and it could last really long. I mean, I had a neighbor for whom it lasted about 15 years. 15 years, believe me, between husband and wife. And they had children, and the burden fell on one son. May not be financially so much, but physically it was just one son and his wife and his children who did the task. So first is the physical effort of somebody having to look after you and me in our old age, where you are perhaps bedridden, or you have ailments because of which you cannot go around doing your day-to-day work. So that is expensive. The estimate is about 15 lakhs to 30 lakhs is the figure that I have got based on whatever I have spoken to people, which is true, because I know my current neighbor is paying about 90,000 per month to a person looking after her husband. He is bedridden and he needs a lot of help. He has to be fed through a pipe in the neck. So yes, there is a lot of effort. So cleaning, bathing him, right, all that task has to be done by a big male, because he's big built, and all those expenses. So 90,000 is just that guy's salary, and I have not included medicines, food, etc., right? So if you take all those expenses, easily it is easy to accept that it will be 1.5 lakhs per month, which makes it about 18 lakhs. So 15 lakhs to 30 lakhs is the estimate that I have received. Now, if you don't have insurance, what should you do? First of all, the human mind plays games with us. So even for me, when I've done so much reading on behavioral finance, I still feel that I should keep money separate for my medical expenses. So I have insurance, I'm paying medical insurance premium, but exactly same amount I'm also doing an SIP in a healthcare fund. Should it be in a healthcare fund? Can it be in a balance advantage fund? It can be anywhere. But mentally, if I earmark that money, let us say I'm paying 50,000 rupees as my medical insurance annually. That means about 4-5,000 per month is the SIP that should go into this healthcare fund. What happens is, mentally I'm willing to say, whenever I have a medical problem, I will go to my medical insurance, and my medical insurance may or may not pay the full bill, and the reasons could be pretty shocking. You will never know. For example, if I have a cataract operation, I'm sure I'll get only 10% of the sum assured that I have. So if I have let's say 3 lakh as a sum assured in my main policy, apart from that I only have a top up, then, or I have a floater. Let's say I have a 3 lakh my policy on my life, I have a 20 lakh floater and a 50 lakh top up, right? So I think I have adequate insurance, maybe yes, but when I get a cataract operation done, I will get only 30,000 rupees. Now normally cataract happens within the week, right? So you get it done on the 1st of a month, and then on the 6th or 7th or maybe 10th of the month. So which means both fall in the same year, which means I'll get only 30,000 rupees for one eye. My floater policy will not cover, my top up policy 10%, nothing. Obviously I'll get nothing from the top up, but I won't get anything from the floater policy also. So you have to be very careful with medical insurance. Yes, if it's a small amount and I spend 60,000 for one eye or 75,000 for one eye and I get only 30,000, I lump it and pay the balance of 45,000. I don't have a choice to get the operation done. But in case you think the amount gets bigger for some other illness, and they will surely find some reason why they should not pay you, right? I'm not convinced that they'll pay you. Your insurance agent is 99% of insurance agents don't understand what they are selling. So I have been a victim to that. This guy has been with me for a long time, but he has no clue that you can't get this or you can't get that, and he'll say, oh, I thought you can get. So it does not really serve any purpose trying to argue or fight with him. So my logic is, I dip into medical insurance, I get 30,000, 75,000 is what I've paid. So another 45,000 I remove from the healthcare fund that I have been building. So this is one way of providing for long-term care also. Keep building up that corpus, because we have no clue how much it will take. So if you assume that 15 lakhs is what it will cost, and for 4 years you need you will need this, then which means you need 15 4s or 60 adjusted for inflation. So if I think I need 60 lakhs, I should have very close to 60 lakhs today, because I need it today. Okay, I'm assuming I need it at the age of 85. So I have time to build up that corpus, but that corpus has to also adjust for inflation at perhaps a higher rate than what you think that you should do, right? Because inflation for services will be higher than inflation for than inflation for other items. So you have to be worried about those two things. So does everybody need long-term care? I'm not sure that everybody will need. For example, my father did not need, but my neighbor needed, right? So those things you have to look at statistics and see what happens. And ultimately statistics don't matter. If you are a victim, you have to pay for it, right? So it doesn't matter what has happened. You can't see how long your father and mother lived or whether they needed insurance. All that does not matter, but you have to make sure that you have to provide for it. So can you purchase long-term care insurance? Yes, if you are in the US, though it's very expensive. But no, if you can't buy long-term care insurance. It's not available in India, and I don't see any great hurry of any medical insurance or a life insurance company wanting to provide that. The cost of long-term policies has also gone up significantly, even if you are in the US. So I'm not saying don't buy, but if you have not bought, look at the cost and see whether it is worthwhile. Long-term care could become more popular in India as our population ages and insurance companies have lesser life insurance and medical insurance to sell. They may introduce, but as of now it is not there. So what do you do in such cases, right? So what have you done with your cell phone, right? Let's say you have a cell phone costing 1.5 lakhs. Have you insured it against anything, against a mistake of leaving it somewhere or it getting stolen or something? No, we don't, right? So that is called self-insurance. You say, I can live with it. If I lose this phone, yes, I'll feel sad, but I'll go and buy a new one. So that is called self-insurance. So when I'm saying build up your own cash in a separate account, why am I insisting that it should be a separate account is because your mind says, okay, I've got 20 lakhs, I've got 3 lakhs of insurance, I've got 20 lakh floater, and I've got a 50 lakhs, so I am covered. But if my bill is 5 lakhs and they pay only 3 lakhs or 3.5 lakhs, and that I'm being optimistic, then this 1.5 lakhs will come out of this fund. That makes me feel assured that I have a backup. I don't need it. I have maybe another 5 crores lying in a large cap fund or a multi cap fund, somewhere it's lying. So can I pay from there? Yes, I can pay for them. So this is more a mental block rather than your planning as such. But yes, you need to plan because you have to have it in your head. Also tell your spouse and children about the fact that you have this fund exclusively for this, so in case you're in coma, etc. When this fund gets over, just stop treating me. That's another way of, I know people who have said that. This is what I call financial euthanasia. You say, you tell the doctor, look, I've run out of money. I had some 1.5 crores for my dad, and that's over. Or your wife goes and says, okay, I had 1.5 crores for my husband, now that's over. So please discharge him, right? That kind of a thing. So you have to do that. There is no other protection as such available in India. Can they take all your assets away because you have run up a big bill? I don't think hospitals can sue and collect money, etc. And largely they will be taking in advance. If a person is admitted, they expect you to keep on putting money into that account regularly. So the key is to make sure that you receive the care you need in retirement and to have a plan in place. Not having money is different, but having money is not enough. You have to have a plan in place. You have to sit and talk with your spouse, with your family, etc. If you had purchased long-term care insurance in the past, let's say you're in the US or you're in the UK, that's fine, but just look at what it covers, what it does not cover. Indians in India don't have this choice. You may want to run the numbers to see whether it is adequate between you and your spouse. If it's a woman who is watching, that reminds me, 10% viewership is now women. I'm very impressed. Earlier it used to be 4%, now it's gone up to 10%. So if you are sitting with your husband, sitting with your wife, sitting with your children, discuss how much you will spend, how much you will not spend, when you will stop. All this is a plan. I'm not just saying you need money. Of course you need money, but apart from money, you also need a plan. And as of now, long-term care insurance is not available in India, at least to the best of my knowledge. If some reader knows about it, if some viewer knows about it, I'm very happy to look at that policy, even for myself, and I'll also do a review of that policy. Thank you.